All right, so I'm looking at bots v1 2.1. So I want us to find the staging server domain name. Now we found the domain name was Jumping Crab. So all we got to do is find HTTP events going to Jumping Crab. We can put that in here. I think it was Jumping Crab was part of the name, and any part of the name will do. Yeah, there's 3 events, including that Jumping Crab. And I think it'll get highlighted. Yeah, it should get highlighted. Yep, there it is. JumpingCrab.com prank glassine bracket. So I want to find the IP address of the staging server, and that would be the destination of a request. So here's the thing: getting poison ivy is coming for you from Jumping Crab. So the destination of this traffic will be that IP address, and there it is, this number starting with 23. So I'm just going to save that. And my note file is, this is the staging server IP. All right. And the next thing is use a search engine to find other domains on the staging server. So I get this domain name, prankglassine-jumpingcrab.com, and this is a malicious server being used for a malicious purpose. So those things are typically used over and over again. So if you just Google a domain name like that, or actually Google the IP address is more like it, because what happens is bad guys compromise a server, and then they use the same server over and over. So if you Google an IP address, there are a bunch of threat intelligence companies that just archive information. Like here's ThreatMiner, and here's Robtex, that's another one. And I'm looking for other ones I recognize. Vedbex, I think. There's a bunch of them here. And so you find a threat intelligence company and see what else has been going on that server. And here it'll list the other domains that have been saved there. Here we are. I think here's a bunch of junk. All right, let's see if I can find one that gives me more information. This is an Amazon server, and here's some records. ThreatMiner. Okay, this was called Wayne Corp Inc. at one time, and then it has an Amazon domain, and I should be able to find other ones, but I need a better source of threat intelligence. Let me try some of these others. They do keep changing. We'll try IPinfo and look IPNet and see what they have to say. Gives me the location of the Amazon server, but what I'm looking for is historical DNS records. And there are lists of them available. All right, let me try adding DNS or historical DNS to my query. Find IP, DNS analysis, hybrid analysis, malicious, those might be good. Extracted strings. All sorts of junk, but I'm not getting historical DNS, which used to be very easy to find. But I'm not having much luck finding it now. Here, name server performance, delegation, DNS traversal. All right, let me try adding historical DNS to the query. History perhaps. ThreatMiner, historical DNS resolutions. Yeah, I thought ThreatMiner had it. Maybe I just couldn't find it on the page. There's the host. Maybe all these ads are just making it too hard for me to find. Malware samples. Nope. It's on another tab or something. A lot harder than it used to be. Summary of APT group. Historical DNS records. Okay. Here's one. Somebody's written a blog about it. I used to be able to easily find historical DNS records from, I think, ThreatMiner and other ones, but somehow I'm not finding them here. Reverse DNS. Online sandbox. World's largest repository of historical DNS data. It may just be that it's getting to... somebody found an Alien Vault. Good. Alien Vault's usually good. I don't know why Alien Vault didn't show up here. Let me try adding that. Alien Vaults. This is what people have been telling me, that Google's a lot less useful, and it seems to be. Google used to put good stuff right at the top, and actually I'm still not finding any Alien Vault. Wow. Wow. Bottom record on first page. Not anymore for me. This is weird. Maybe I have to turn off safe search or something? I don't know what this garbage is. Tools. Huh. Amy, why don't you share your search page and try to figure out why your search is working and mine is not working? You're just using Google, right? I'm using Google and it's just giving me garbage. I can't even find site. It won't show me Alien Vault at all. I wonder if they're somehow removing it. Alienvault.com. Yeah. 22, 23, 22, 63.
The first result in my Google.
I know it used to be the first result in my Google too. Maybe somehow Opera is fouling up Google. Let me just try Brave. It's supposed to be easy, and it's totally not being easy. Google.com. All I should have to do is search for that IP address, and the first few hits should give me the good stuff. But I've heard people complaining, saying Google has cheapened their product and it doesn't work very well anymore. And I'm beginning to get that feeling. What is this garbage, for example? All right. There. Now I get ThreatMiner. I'm getting the same stuff. No Alien Vaults. Nothing but weird, useless junk. Anyway, I can use your link, although I don't know how I could ever find your link. Let's try this site. Alien Vault. Yeah, once again, Alien Vault is no longer findable. So if Google's not going to be a working search engine anymore, might have to use other ones. I wonder if Dogpile will do it. Dogpile used to be my alternative. Let's try this. And there it is right there. Okay, Dogpile seems to be better than Google now. Right there it is, the third hit. And Google didn't find it at all. I've never seen this before. Google totally not even finding the good stuff. I've heard people complain, but I haven't seen it before. That's pretty impressive.
So I tried to try an incognito window. I couldn't find it when I had my regular Chrome.
Yeah.
I switched to incognito and it came up number 2 and 3 on the list.
Yeah, and that seems, so it seems like they've done something like customize it based on me being logged in some way that blocks all the good stuff. Okay.
Well, that and history, because they're doing data, remember they're doing AI with that stuff.
Yeah. Well, they do seem to have fouled up their system. Anyway, so here you go. Here's all these domain names, historical DNS right there. And you'll find this one is Elite Speak domain, poisonivy.com with poison ivy spelled with numbers. And that's the domain name that we're looking for here. So that was an interesting and revolting fact that they have cheapened the product at Google. Anyway, All right, the next thing is a brute force attack. Let me get to that. See if I can dig back to my Splunk. All right. So, there's a brute force attack being formed against the domain server. So let's start with HTTP events, against the web server. So I start with HTTP, and I want to go back to the requests that went to the web server of the company, which is I'mReallyNotBatman.com. All right. No sampling is good, so I should get 15,570 events. And it's still running. It's running until you see a check mark. There we are, 15,000. It's nearly done. 22,000. Oh, that's right. It'll be more than that because I'm only going to get the post events. All right, so I have this many. Now I have to find the method. HTTP method will be down here. HTTP method. So some are gets and some are posts and some are other things. And the ones I want are the posts because a login event is typically a post where you send up a name and a password. So these should be 15,570. There we are. That's pretty close. There, 15,560. That'll do. Now I want to exclude the ones from the vulnerability scanner. So a simple way to do it is just use not, capital letters, and then Acunetics. Although, not should have changed color. Maybe the color formatting is turned off. There is some way to turn it back on, but anyway, that should do it. This should remove the ones that contain the word Acunetics in them. And that should get me down to about 441. I'm off by 10 events, but I'm not going to worry about it. Now I'm down to 431 events. Now I want to look at the form data of these events. Here it is. And you see some of them are full of weird random things, but later on they're all going to be login events. So an easy way to view the form data for them all is to make a table. And here's the Splunk syntax to do that. If you add that to this query, this will make a table of time and form data with nothing else. And this makes it really easy to see the attack. So you see, here's random junk happening, but if I go down a bit, this is the attack. Username is admin, password is Batman, username is admin, and the password is rock, password is cool, password is Sammy, and on it goes. This is all of them in reverse time order with the most recent ones up front. And you can see what happened very clearly here. Take a look at this one. This is 144805. This one here is 4651, 4651. These are happening many per second, these events. This is an automated scan. Starting here with Rock, Cool, Sammy, August, Phantom, it's running through a list of passwords at the rate of several per second. And it's so you can record these times. But there's another way to do it too. But you see, there was a brute force attack where it tried a lot of these. There's many, many pages of these many guesses per second. Then there's a gap of time from 1446 to 1448, and then they come in, log in with a different syntax for the login. What's going on is the attacker ran an automated scanner that tried many passwords until they found the right password, and then the attacker came in with a different browser with a different syntax and logged in manually with the password that worked. And you can isolate these. One way to do it is to go. So there's two things to clean this up. The first thing is I want to get rid of these extra records which are not part of the brute force attack. So one thing true of all the things here is it has username equals and password equals in the line. So I'm going to add those to my query. Here. username equals, and password equals. That should get rid of these extraneous events that are not part of the logins. Gets me down to 413. And now I'd like to distinguish the automated attack from the manual login later. And the way I'm going to do that is get rid of the table for now, so I can see all the information about these events. And then I can look at the HTTP user agent here. And you see Python is 412 of them, and then a real browser, Mozilla, is one of them. So this is the automated attack, and that is the administrator logging on manually later. And you can separate them this way. And so you can get the times of these. This is the administrator manually logging on later. So here's the time of the manual login. At this time. And you can see the password that worked is down here. Source headers, it'd be form data. There. So the real password was Batman, as you might imagine. And then the other stuff with the other user agent, if I no longer restrict the user agent and do a search again, so I can see both user agent values. There. The other one, Python. This is the brute force attack, and I can get the timing of it and everything by adding that, by making that table again. This will show me just the automated attack with nothing else, and they are, I think, I'm not sure that they're sorted in time order correctly. Let me just sort it again. This puts 45, 21. This is increasing a time. And this is putting the latest one. So this is when the brute force attack ended. This is the time. All right, this is the end of brute force attack. All right. And so that's enough to answer several questions here. Now you know, find the IP address performing a brute force attack. You can find it from any of these. And there's another flag down here where you find the time. There's the brute force. What was the first brute force password used? What was the correct password? And what was the time interval between the end of the brute force, between the time the brute force pan found the correct password and the compromised login? And how many unique passwords were attempted in the brute force attack? You can get all those from this form data. Now there's another thing. They asked the name of the executable file the attacker uploaded to the server. So let's get that one. Here, I start with the 15,570 events using the post method, which is what I have here. And I exclude the Acunetics. So here we are. So up to here, this is the part of that query that gave me those events. These are post events not using the vuln scanner. I can search them. And I have these 431 events. Yes? Okay, I think I'm just hearing random noise. Now I want to search. I just want to search for file name extensions like .exe. I think is what I need. Let's try that. Yeah, there are two events that have a .exe in them, and it should highlight it. So, well, I can do Control F for .exe. That might be what I have to do. There we go. Okay, there's one there. There we are, 3791.exe. This is some kind of directory. And here's a request referring to that file name, and I think this is the thing that uploads the file. Might be easier to see in this format. Yeah. This is part of the form data. There's a file name. What's going on is after they found the login to the content management system, which is Joomla, they found out that the password was Batman, and then they used the Joomla web form to upload a file, and this is the file, 3791.exe. And we can find the hash value of this file because of sysmon. So that's the next one. This is flag 3.1. Since I now know the name of the file, I'm going to add this to my notes. All right. Now we can search for that file name. So we can go to sysmon events that record process creation from when they ran the file. So let's go back to here, and something bad happened. All right. I'm just going to back to the plain search page, and I'm going to start from the data summary here. All right. Now I can go to source types and get sysmon. So here's the sysmon data, and I'll go to all time. And now there's a link in the instructions here to learn about sysmon event IDs. Sysmon is wonderful and extremely simple. There's only a few event IDs, and they list them here somewhere. There. 1 is process creation. 2 is a process. All I need is event ID 1 to find process creation. So down here should be event ID. There it is. There's only a few values, so all I want is the 1s. All right, and I'd rather have a list than a table. All right, and now I want to look at command line, which is here, and I want to find the command line that's going to include the name of that that executable. So I should be able to just add that to the query. Let's see if that works. There. Here's my executable name. And I have 5 events. And so if I just look at these, you see they have hashes like SHA-1 and MD5. And here's command line. So here's 3791 executing, and here's something I think that sets it up to execute. So it's going to be one of these. And it gets a little confusing to know which one of these is the hash value of the executable itself and which one is actually the hash value of CMD. So I tried a few of these hash values till I got the right answer. But I've gotten it down to just 5 hash values. And if you go down here, in fact, there's only 3 MD5s available now, so one of these is the right answer. And if you inspect the sysmon event, you can learn which hash value ties directly to that executable. So anyway, that's the groups 2 and 3 of flags I've covered. So let me stop this video.